What up, what up, Anastasia? How y'all doing?
Oh, never been here before? Welcome. We do a cross section of pop culture in real life. And today we're back with another story time.
Yes, we are.
Mm.
So, friends, send us your stories. We will make you anonymous. Just send it into the email that's linked below and we will share it. This one is a long one, friends, so buckle in.
Oh boy.
She says, "Hi, ladies. Recently, I was attending and a part of a family member's wedding. My cousin decided to have one of those destination weddings in a tropical location. So the bridal party flew out a few days ahead of the wedding to ensure we all made it in time. This wasn't a bad idea with the way the airlines have been canceling flights as of late. Once there, the bride decided that she wanted everyone to do one last fit check and or finish any last minute touches to our dresses. We got to our destination 3 days before the actual wedding, so we would have more than enough time to do final touches. And or excuse me, and or be able to remedy any flight issues. She says, but this is where things got messy. During our final fit check, my cousin had us meet with the on-site wedding planner to take step and repeat style test photos so she could see what we looked like with our colors that she had chosen. So let's just say I'm a wee bit extra, so I decided to do a full-on dress rehearsal, a sparkle stiletto sandals and all. My picture came out great, but at some point I managed to snag the tiniest piece of the material, and you guessed it, disaster would happen. The snag caused a giant ass rip up the right leg a few inches above my knee. I screamed, and the on-site planner reassured us that she had an in-house seamstress who could fix this, and my cousin would be none the wiser. So I rushed off. So I rushed off to meet this lady, aka the miracle worker. Oh, I forgot to add, while we were doing all this dress rehearsal, my cousin wasn't even present to see it. So she had the planner sending her pictures via text. Anyway, back to the story. So I rushed off to the seamstress before leaving. The planner also assured me that this type of service was included in our party planning fees. So basically, the seamstress was an on-call provider should disaster like this happen. I get there. She's about 10 minutes drive away from the venue. She sees the issue. Mind you, I still have the dress on. She has me stand on the podium in front of her and says, "Ooh, yes, I see. Don't worry, I fixed it for you." Her fix was basically going to be a complete modification of the dress. I also forgot to mention I was the maid of honor, so the dress my cousin picked out was strapless and had an extreme drop waist with ruching in on the front draped around my hips. The dress was beautiful before it got snagged and ripped. Seamstress lady gets to working her magic and decides that the best course of action is to make this rip look like it's intentional, taking the dress from slinky drop waist to excuse me, from taking the dress from slinky dropped waist with ruching to slinky dropped waist with a fancy knot tied on the right side of the ruching, turning the ripped edges inward so that the fraying would not be completely visible anymore. Once she was done tying, tucking, and pinning, she said it would be ready the day of the wedding and that I'd come back to pick it up. I left carefree without a worry in the world because it was in her hands. D-Day comes. I wake up early, leave with the planner to get my dress. The planner drops me off and says something about needing to get back to the venue to finish a few things and that she would send the driver to come pick me up. Due to the extreme change in the fit, the planner also suggested that we take pictures, or excuse me, that we take another picture and send it to my cousin for her approval. So the day I spent with the seamstress, we took a few pictures of the dress and what the plan would be to fix it and send it to my cousin. Surprisingly, she was fine with this new look and loved the changes. The seamstress again has me go put the dress on and get back on the podium, and I do a twirl. She was definitely a miracle worker. The dress looked great. The fit was better than it was the first time, and she'd added a thin lining to give the dress a bit more structure. I say great and decide to leave the dress on and head back to the venue because the wedding would be starting shortly. I jump down and scurry over to grab my things when the seamstress stops me and says, "That'd be 350." I looked at her with confusion and ask her, "What's 350?" She says the dress. I say USD, $3.50. She says no, $350. I say the planner said that the service was included. She says yes for minor touches, but I had to remake your dress. She then says I can't leave until final payment. I look at her in shock. The wedding is in less than 2 hours, and I still hadn't gotten hair and makeup. I panic and frantically start calling the planner, who doesn't answer. I call the front desk to relay a message to her. I then call my other cousin, the bride's sister, and tell her what's happening, and she starts freaking out. She says it's only $350. Don't you have that? You're her maid of honor, for God's sake. Problem was, I didn't bring my wallet. We had been staying at an all-inclusive resort and I hadn't gone off the resort for anything. So I left my wallet in the safe in my room. The only thing I had taken with me was my phone and passport. I'd assumed I would be in and out, and the seamstress was only 10 minutes away. I also hadn't planned to be spending an additional $350 on this damn wedding. I tell the seamstress I have to go and that we would settle up at the end of the wedding, reassuring her that we could figure this out later on. She says, "Okay, but you're going to have to leave the dress here." I shake my head and leave with the driver. Word gets back to the bride and she's like, "Just pay the 350." She doesn't offer to cover it or to split it, just demands that I fork over another $350. I look at her and say, "I don't have it." She frowns and I say, Melly is here. She's your matron of honor. So the wedding can still go off without a hitch. The bride, furious now, says, "I wanted you next to me in the front. I want good pictures, and Melly won't look as flattering right next to me." I laugh and shake my head in disbelief that she said that about her own sister. I apologize and say, "I'm sorry, but I don't have an additional $350 to add to this wedding." Now we're back home, and my cousins are still pissed at me for not being in the wedding as planned. That seamstress kept that dress. I didn't care all that much, like because we had ordered it from some online wedding retailer, originally paying $250 for the dress. My cousins are telling my whole family, i.e., the ones who couldn't afford to fly to this damn destination wedding, that I had ruined her big day. And also, they haven't spoken to me since the wedding day. And I'm wondering, am I really the asshole? Uh, Final part. Here's a bit more background. I had planned my 2-week vacation around this girl's wedding. I'd be there with her and my family for the first week and then transfer hotels and be with my girlfriends at our villa for the next week. I had calculated my money down to the penny as to how I would spend it and what I was going to spend it on. It worked out that my cousins were pissed at me afterwards because excuse me, because they left and I was still in paradise. So, ladies, is it me? Am I the drama? Signed, Frugal Traveler at Destination Wedding. This is
There's
long,
so
but
many asshole throughout this entire situation. First of all, you don't wait till you get into the foreign country to have a goddamn fitting. Okay? You need to have a fitting. You need to make sure everything looks good well in advance. And like literally, especially if you're going to a destination before you leave, because what if the place didn't have a seamstress who could fix it or create a new creation? What
yeah,
if you had to go try to find a dress in the exact right color? Well, you know what I mean? Like you have to,
any
you
number of things could have happened.
number of things could have happened and you just can't wait till the last minute for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So bride
But that's
fault.
not the bridesmaid or the maid of honor's fault. That's the bride's fault
No,
because she
that's what I
wanted
said.
to
The
have
bride.
them.
No, that's what I said. The bride. The bride is at fault with that.
Because, girl,
Uh,
why are we trying these dresses on again? You know what the damn dresses look like.
as somebody who sews, I understand the seamstress saying, "I gave you a new dress." Now she should have been honest about that and upfront about that. That's the only issue that I have is like they're like, "Oh yeah, for minor alterations," but it's like, okay, you needed to warn me this wasn't a minor alteration.
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I'm making you a new dress. This is no longer minor, so this is what it's going to cost, and then they could have worked it out from there.
Right.
Um,
Or explain to her, give her the option. Do you want me just to fix the best side to my ability, the tear that is here, or would you like for me to kind of restructure it and make it look like this never happened?
right, and it has to have been like something in between that she could have done that was less than $350.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that alterations and these type of things can cost a lot of money. Like I said, I get it. But there had to have been something in between that she could have done. It felt like she was trying to exercise her creative whims and didn't tell anybody, like, hey.
That and the fact that I would give her a little bit of leeway because she had to do this recreation in 3 days.
And also in 3 days. And like, that's
That's a lot
honestly,
of,
that's a lot of labor in a small amount of time if you're recreating an entire dress. And I'm sure that had a lot to do with the price.
yeah.
Last thing is, somebody should have coughed up the money. I think the bride should have coughed it up. Um, somebody got to cough up a credit card. I'm not gonna. I think I think if I'm the bridesmaid and it's my dress, I would have probably coughed up the money. But I understand her point was like, look, I ain't have a whole bunch of extra money. I'm here for you. So I don't have a bunch of extra money to be throwing around at this wedding. It's a whole another $350. So I understand that's like a price sensitivity thing, and it's not cheap. That's not a little bit
Hmm.
of money. $350
No.
can go a long way in
But
life.
also, Mama said that she had already planned her vacation out down to the dollar. So she must be like a very frugal, watch my coins type of person. This is how I'm going to do my vacationing. I have this amount of money for this week and this amount of money for that week, and I'm not going to go beyond that. And I respect her for that.
Yeah, I just feel like you came all the way here for the wedding, and now you're gonna and for me it's like, is it $350 worth ruining your relationships? And this is like, you're the cousin, you're this is your cousin, these are all your family members, your whole entire family is going to be like, is this worth the ruining of the relationship? I just think of things in a bigger picture. And like, I
Hmm.
get it. The $350 is not cheap. And if I had been in a wedding and I would have been like, $350, like, but for me, I just think like weddings are like one of those special things that you do whatever you need to do to make it work. And I think somebody should have put the $350 on a credit card and worked it out in the end. Worked it out after the fact. Like, hey, I did not have the money for this. Can you please help me? Give me $100 on it. Somebody help me. Give me $50 or whatever the case may be. But I want to be a
I think
part of
that
your
was her
big,
point.
I want to
Like,
be a part of your big day. And like, I really don't have it. But I
yeah.
think I would have put it on a credit card or something and then just settled it in the end. But that's just me, because I think that weddings are like a special thing that you make it work.
I think
That's
that
everybody though. All the way around.
for,
Sister, bride, everybody should have tried to come together to make it work.
yeah, but I think that for this instance, I want to say that her referencing that they didn't even bother to like give her half.
Yeah.
I think that if they had of, she would have been like, okay, bet I'm gonna like, because you got a phone with you, I can, do some sort of money transfer to you if you have that available. Do that to you for right now, and then I'll bring you the rest of it afterwards. So that way, the woman at least has some incentive, has some money. Period.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know, y'all. Y'all get down in the comments and let us know if you agree with the frugal spender, whether or not she was right in her actions to let that damn what seamstress keep that dress. And just be, because she came for the wedding and she saw the wedding. She was there. She just wasn't in it.
And she came for
So
this.
should what let us know what your thoughts are. And like I said in the start of this, if you have a story time that you want to share and you want to keep it anonymous, you can do just like she did, send it to us, and then we will say it without and give you like a name. She gave her own name, which was the Frugal Spender. So thank you for listening. Of course, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace
Bye.
out.